Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of Anime Brain Freeze. We are your former Assassin's Third podcast hosts.
I am John.
And I'm CC, and when there's just too much cool anime to watch, we've got you covered. Today we will dive headfirst into the life of a normal family man who is anything but in our review of the new action comedy hit Sakamoto Days. And since it's our season finale, we of course will pick our winners for best anime of the season. So grab your apron and self-defense broom, make sure to wear your bulletproof glasses, and definitely don't pause the pod. We'll be right back.
The name Taro Sakamoto once instilled fear in every villain. No other professional hitman matched his prowess, and fellow assassins revered him. However, Sakamoto fell in love. In 5 short years, he married, became a father, put on some weight, and traded his weapons for an apron as he became the owner of a humble convenience store. Although Sakamoto is decidedly retired, he finds his old life of crime hard to shake off. His former partner, Shin Asakura, reappears and resolves to stay with Sakamoto's family under their strict no-kill rule. To make matters worse, a large bounty is placed on Sakamoto's head. Numerous assassins now pursue him, but they are in for a surprise. Sakamoto has not lost his edge, and no matter what tricks his enemies pull, he will fight off every last one to protect his dear family. Big shout out to MAL Rewrite for that summary. So, Sakamoto Days is the latest from our friends at TMS, who we have spoken on several times before.
Usually in conjunction with the reviews of the Lupin series.
Lupin Sensei, yes. This was directed by one Masaki Watanabe, who's done some directorial work. I think the big stuff outside of this show in particular is Battle Spirits, which I think is supposed to be a tie-in with a card. Yeah, definitely a tie-in with a card game. Yeah, let's go.
Did your eyes just light up, or what was that?
No, it was just more about, I'm looking at the promo art, and I was like, I feel like I've heard this name, but I'm not certain on it. And then I look at it, and one of the characters has what looks like a board in front of him with like spots for cards, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah.
I thought it sounded like your card game sensor was just triggered or something. It's like, I smell a card game.
Card games on motorcycles. Wait. But I feel like it's one of those names that I sort of had buried in the back of my head, but you know, there's so many. There's a lot. And it looks like this show has been running for a while. Oh, geez. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 10 entries on Anime News Network. So
wow, okay.
Yes.
I think I've never seen like one frame of that show.
Like I said, I've seen the name, and I think that's the beginning, middle, and end of my interaction with it. The show is written by Taku Kishimoto, who you spoke briefly about with Blue Lock. Wrote a little bit of Fruits Basket, which was fantastic. Haikyuu. And then they've done some, I think, by our account, pretty good work. So,
has the manga's original author, done anything else besides Sakamoto Days? I don't think so, right? Is there first?
Yuto Suzuki. It looks like there's a spin-off called Sakamoto Holidays.
I mean, sure. Gotta do it.
But it looks like that's pretty much with the long and short of what they have worked on.
Yeah, just, you know, I think it was published in Shonen Jump, right? And became kind of an immediate hit.
Yeah. The manga started in 2020, and it looks to be like it's still running.
I feel like this is a format that you could keep going for a while. Although I was surprised, like it's not like it's super plot heavy or anything. Definitely not. But there's there's more in there than I expected, and they're setting up a nice mystery and everything. So I was like, oh, okay. I expected this to be just like a work-ish comedy where like every episode there's a new weird hitman that's gonna try to kill Sakamoto, and he and his new friends gonna protect the store from getting totally demolished and whatever, and they're gonna have all the fights in the vicinity of the store. That was what I imagined of what the show is gonna be, but it's slightly different. I mean, we get the colorful hitmen, definitely, a lot of them.
Yeah. Yes.
They're probably the most fun part of the show, but it also, like, there's like, here's a bit of mystery background for Sakamoto, especially in regards to the main villain, who has been kind of revealed at the end of this first core, but not really like who he is. We just know he has a connection to Sakamoto, and that Sakamoto is apparently maybe the only one who ever was able to hurt him, damage him, whatever, put a dent in him, stand up to him. I don't know, like the only one who could beat him in some way or another. So there's that, just to take that ahead of us, but we don't know anything more. And I was like, okay, there is more to chew on than I expected. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Staff-wise, we also, of course, have to mention Yuki Hayashi again.
Of course.
Just talked about him in the review of Medalist, and now we get him again in this. And I think this is definitely really good stuff from him this time. Like, there are a lot of really cool tracks. There's one in an episode where there's a battle on a roller coaster where we hear a cool vocal equipped theme for the first time. That's really awesome. So really energetic soundtrack, as you would expect. Not as like, I mean, there is your usual Yuki Hayashi triumphant symphonic rock opera thing happening at some point, but there are also some more, I don't know, some more fun beat heavy tracks and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that. What did you think of the soundtrack, John?
I thought it was, great, as he usually does. Definitely a little bit of the My Hero feel in there,
Sure.
but that's, I don't think it's definitely probably what he's best known for now. But I mean, he had done some work on like the Gundam Build stuff, which had a little bit of a similar-ish sound. There was very high energy all throughout all of that. So there's a little bit of that in there as well. I still love. I think I mentioned this in passing, that when they couldn't use compositions for Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, the remake of it, that he just sort of went in there and was like, I'll just make a Dragon Quest soundtrack myself, and it has that same emotion and energy. So like, Hayashi has proven himself to be like very versatile and just a great composer. So
yeah, but he's definitely
this sound is where he's most at home.
Yes, this is definitely along the lines, like you said, My Hero Academia, Haikyuu, like triumphant, a bit too triumphant in the beginning, because the first thing we see with in this show is the glory days, quote unquote, of Sakamoto, where he like goes to town on a bunch of assassin goons, whatever, mafia people, and just kills them left and right. And in the background there is this triumphant Yuki Hayashi score, and you're like, there's a bit of a mismatch here, guys. It's like super violent.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, yes, he is the hero of the story, but he is also, he was a bad guy. Like,
yeah.
I mean, at least when it comes to, if you want to call everyone that kills people a bad guy, which, can be argued, until he met the love of his life in a convenience store. So, yeah.
Definitely sort of the same spin on, like, like a dragon or Yakuza, depending on which name you want to go with.
Yeah, sure. I feel like, yeah, it's going a bit in that direction, but, you know, I don't even know. I mean, Yakuza is absolutely super goofy, so I guess, yeah, that's appropriate. That seems right. Just not, you know, someone who is still kind of affiliated, I guess. Although I mean, there's still the people from his old gang that seem to treat him with respect, and also, even though he's out of the business, he still has connections where he knows where to go for information and stuff like that. There's like this thing where he and his new friends are trying to garner some information about a certain bad guy or a group of people of bad guys, and they go to this video rental store, and he's like, here, this all the information about the underworld is stored as movies. Like, the way this is conveyed here, it's a bit like Mission Impossible, but, you know, not with self-destroying tapes or something like that, but it's like these self-made not home movies, but like they look kind of, you know, professionally made, but it's just like these movies only exist to convey certain information about certain people and the underworld, and like, but they still have a plot. It's super funny. It's super funny idea. I really like that. I was like, okay, you just have to watch this movie and get super engaged. Although Sakamoto fell asleep, right? When he watched it. So that's great.
But Shin was there to take everything in.
Yes, Shin was there. Yeah, Lua also didn't really pay attention, or she was too engaged or something like that. Yes. We're already talking about characters we haven't introduced yet. So, our main man, Taro Sakamoto. You already did plenty of legwork in the summary. He was the super hitman. He was John Wick, right? That's what you can basically say if you want to do a comparison for people who might not be as intimate with, I don't know, standard anime assassin stuff.
It's funny because I guess Suzuki had spoken about his influences and said John Wick and like The Equalizer were like direct inspirations and stuff from like Christopher Nolan. So like, yes,
it makes absolute sense. Like, there are a bunch of references in there also to kind of movies like that, I guess, if you pay close attention. And yeah, he's definitely that. Deep in the underground, is like the top assassin. Like I said, he's admired by the students of the art, and feared by his enemies, and unbeaten. And then he just one day goes into a convenience store and meets a very, very pretty, nice woman called Aoi, and falls head over heels for her. And yeah, yeah, it's very cute. Like, he just completely losing his facial features, technically. Snot dripping out of his nose because she is so goddamn adorable, I guess. And he just like, okay, fuck the assassin life. I'm gonna spend my life with that woman. And that's what happens. And then they have a daughter, Hana. And he opens a mom and pop store in this little town that is from, I guess. And that's how it be. And they live a normal life. He puts on a lot of weight. And though that is not consistent throughout this core.
Yeah, that's...
The show is trying to have its cake and eat it too. Like, there's some fights where Sakamoto is like, I'm burning calories during the fight, so I'm slimming down. So the viewer also gets to see him kick ass, not only in his new chubby form, but also in his perfect old days form. Still wearing an apron and, sandals and whatever, but...
Get you a man who can do both?
Yeah, I guess. And but yeah, you not only get the fat Sakamoto, so to speak, but also the slim one in this. It's of course not realistic, but and the show actually comments on that. Shin, of course, says like that's not how that works. So the show is aware that's bullshit, but I guess they want to do that so you can still see him kick some ass in his old form. Although I don't know if did we need that, John? Like, I feel like he is plenty badass even when he is in his normal form.
I mean, it was well established to begin with, and then when we see, he was like, "Oh, look at how fat and old he is. He's all washed up, and he's just like out there busting a move, no problem." It's like, I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah, you can still do the thing. You're doing the thing.
I guess they wanted to do this thing to have some for him to have a way to power up, because otherwise he's on the constant level of unbeatable, right?
I have to come down to your level, sort of thing.
Yeah, but they wanted to have a bit of a threat in there from other assassins, and outside of putting his teammates into danger, the only thing I guess they were able to do were like, he is not in top physical form while he is still, while he's still fat, so that when he does enough exercise by fighting bad guys, he slims down and then he gets more powerful. Which, okay, all right, that's fine. It's funny, but most of the time he is in his new bigger form, and it's fun. Like, we opened this show by an old acquaintance or admirer, student, partner. They haven't worked before together, right? Like, Shin is only in the same organization. What are they called? The JAA? I forgot what that stood for.
I think it was the Japanese Association of Assassins.
Yes, right, exactly. And, everyone has heard of Sakamoto. I don't know if they encountered each other before, but Shin definitely is a fan. And he gets contracted to kill Sakamoto. And he's like entering the store and shaking him out. He's like, oh my God, he looks so, like you said, washed up and everything. He can't be a threat. And then quickly he notices, oh shit, the man still got it. Is super happy about it. Shaking his car happy. Just fucking jamming his head against the steering wheel out of pure joy. That was a nice visual joke. When the woman runs passive with a chat, don't look, because it's a shaking car. It's a sex joke. So it's very funny. But he definitely got turned on in one way or another. But he's very happy that his idol still got it, even though he doesn't look the part. Mm-hmm. And he decides to, not kill him, because when he fights Sakamoto, he loses by way of, I don't even know how Sakamoto takes him out. This is with a cuff drop or something, or no, that happens at the beginning to deflect the Shin's bullet. I forgot how he takes him out, but Shin, gets beaten by him, and then he gets a taste of Sakamoto family life, the good cooking of Aoi, which is what led, obviously, to Sakamoto's current form. Her cooking is so good and he enjoys these moments and the family dinner so much that, he became a very good eater. And, so Shin gets to experience that, an experience which he apparently never really had, because he grew up in the lab, technically, because he was an experiment to give people psychic powers, like make them espers, and so far, as we've learned, the only successful experiment. But yeah, he's a psychic, he can read minds. He is so enamored with Sakamoto's family life, and that Sakamoto obviously is trying everything to protect his new family and everything, that he's like, I'm not going to kill him. Goes back to his contractors and is even willing to die himself, technically, but Sakamoto makes sure that doesn't happen, that they fight off the bad guys, and Shin becomes a clerk in Sakamoto's shop. Obviously.
The ultimate fate, worse than death.
I shouldn't even be here. So clerks. Then and from there on we go. There's more characters added to the mix later on. We can talk about them a bit later. But that's pretty much the setup. And then more and more assassins roll into town, because quickly after the second or third episode, I'm not sure, I think at the end of the second episode, a bounty is put on Sakamoto's head. And he is is it 1 billion yen? Right. Yes?
That's, yes, 1 billion.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then more and more assassins roll into town. Not always capable ones.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the small fry with no names, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but they're funny too, like Janitor Man and
man.
that pizza guy who uses pizza cutters as weapons.
That's right. I forgot about that, dude.
So, cannon fodder like that. But we also have some very capable ones, and all of them have a special gimmick that is very fun. Like, there are some assassins, like a duo. I forgot what their names were. One is Boiled, the other one was
Obiguro?
Obiguro, yes. They're like this Bonnie and Clyde duo, kinda, and they have like this really kind of fun, kind of cute dynamic. And Boiled is obviously trying to be like this hard-boiled killer, and his connection to Sakamoto and why he has a beef with him is really funny and stupid. And
talk about a tenuous at best connection.
Yeah, but they like all of these characters have like kind of a fun gimmick and fun powers to an extent, and it gets crazier and crazier as we move on. Definitely a lot of people that have something like superpowers or legit superpowers. I mean, Shin is a psychic, so he's the first one to enter the picture in that regard, but we also get some crazy stuff like a doctor who injects himself with all kind of weird shit and can implant you with like chips that do shit to you, like make you not being able to speak anymore properly because your fucking senses get reversed.
Oh man, out of all of them, I think that one may be the most uncomfortable, man.
Yeah, he is.
I'm just going to casually inject myself with those. I'm just like,
yeah. So weird. I don't know, John. I feel like what was the reindeer guy? Also not
Kashima,
very, not very comfortable around him. He's like the cyborg dude and wears a reindeer hat all the time. It's like it's sewn up cuts all over his body because like he's mostly machine, but he's very uncomfortable on screen, but also entertaining.
Yeah, I guess Suzuki had a penchant for originally writing like these dark one-shot stories, so it definitely bleeds through with some of these gangsters. Just interesting, just enough.
Yeah, but that's super fun because considering how wholesome Sakamoto Days is in terms of a story, of course with an edge, right? Because former assassin and everything, but it's kind of like. It's the comedy version of John Wick. It's really like a spoof on a John Wick movie basically, and it's making fun of the whole thing from beginning to end. Like it's jabbing it's taking so many jabs at that genre of movie / TV show, and all the character tropes and story tropes and everything. So it's funny that he like did the serious stuff first and then was like, let's make it fun, guys. It's like, okay. And that then was the super successful thing, so that's cool. But yeah, and that is kind of the whole season technically. Like I said, it is kind of what I assumed it would be. Like we have this, normal environment of the store, and all the people in the town who rely on Sakamoto and what he does things for, and we have some fun interactions with them sprinkled in between, or some we have a relatively normal set piece or scenario which gets turned into something incredibly ridiculous because Sakamoto has to battle and his friends have to battle assassins there, like an amusement park, like a tournament for a paintball tournament, stuff like that. But it's super fun, and you always get new assassins. Then a lot of them, or some of them, get turned into like accomplices, friends, or neutral people. Like Sakamoto, of course, has, and you mentioned that this new code that he is not going to kill people anymore. Sure looks like he still does in certain parts.
Shut up, don't worry about it.
But apparently he doesn't. Like, he uses rubber bullets or a stun gun, or he's kind of like going the Batman route. Like, he's definitely heavily crippling people, but he's, at least some of them, but he's not killing them anymore. And so all the assassins that come after him kind of stay alive. They just get tied up, or I don't know what even happens to them. Do some of them given over to the police? We never see this. We just see them tied up, and then our gang leaving, and it's like, okay, I guess they're done. They're not gonna come after them anymore. But that's how it works, I guess.
Yeah, like there was the pair of twins, where they Sonhee and Bacho, where it's like they should be dead, but they're probably not. Don't worry about it. Maybe.
Yeah. It is pretty... I mean, the reason Sakamoto does this is because, of course, of his wife. He made a promise to her that he is gonna turn his back on the assassin Days, which he did, but then the assassin world came back to him, and he, has to protect him. He has to protect Shin. He has to protect some other characters, and for that, he has to fight, and he's trying to hide it from his wife for a while, but she's not stupid, so she finds out, and, it's like, okay, but no killing, like you promised. But, it's fun that I expected them to be like, to try to string, to keep this like a secret from her through the entire show, and it's gonna get more and more ridiculous that she doesn't find out. But it was kind of a nice surprise that she gets filled in like at the middle point of the show and finds out, and then it's like, okay, I guess we have to deal with this. I'm fine as long as you don't kill anyone, but we have to find a way for the store not to to get demolished, and also if there are any damages from the fight, we have to make sure that these are get fixed somehow. So she's very responsible in that regard. But it's fun. There's some fun interaction, and Hana, his daughter, is to some of the less dangerous hitmen who like immediately get taken down by Sakamoto and Shin every time they enter the store. She like brings like these
bandages.
The bandages and stuff. It's very cute. So they're taking it pretty like
Hana's just a good little girl.
Yeah, Hana is a good little girl. And Daddy, don't you like the amusement park? Oh my god, it was so
yes.
But yeah, so Aoi takes it in stride and is like, okay, we're gonna deal with this. So that was cool. That was a nice surprise. I like that they didn't like try to string her along for too long. And yeah, aside from Shin, we also get some other characters. We get Lu Xiaotang, who's this girl from a mafia family, but her whole family gets killed, and she's hunted as the last member of her family, I guess, by another group, Dan group or whatever. And, she just by accident runs into Shin and Sakamoto, and they help her out, and then she also becomes a clerk in the store, and those are kind of like the three main guys. Like, Lu also is very fun. Also
very stubborn.
Very stubborn, often very drunk. It's a thing.
Yes. She's a fun drunk, though, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's not always.
It's okay.
She can switch moods all the time. Like, she can be fun, she can be angry, she can be depressed. She can be a lot of drunk, different types of drunk, so... It's fun. And then we also get Heisuke and Pisuke. Heisuke is like this also washed up assassin. Like he's this super talented sniper. He can use special bullets, ricochet them off stuff, and is really good at calculating a trajectory and stuff like that. But that is the only thing he can do. So he wasn't much used to most of his employers, which is weird. Like, maybe do a government contract thing or something. Like,
you think having a good sniper in your pocket would be
Yeah, but he isn't good in close quarter combat. He isn't good in really doing anything else aside from being a sniper. So I guess that wasn't enough for a lot of people. So yeah, he's out of money and just also runs into the gang. Because he learns that there's a 1 billion yen bounty on Sakamoto, but he is very stupid. So
he is a goof, but I mean,
he's a goof, but
he's got his bird buddy to guide his shots.
Yes,
so.
Pieske is very helpful. Not only that, like he can apparently that is a very strong bird. Like that bird is able to carry like his fucking case with his sniper rifle and everything, and bring it when he needs it, like, and ammunition. That is a very strong bird. Like, go Pieske, holy shit. So yeah, he's a lot of fun, and he is not like fully employed in Sakamoto's store and everything. He just pops up occasionally, like to snag some leftover pork buns or stuff like that, or help them out. He in one episode he helps Hana find them and comes like in at the clutch moment to help Shin in a fight and stuff like that. So he's kind of like the wild card on the side who occasionally pops up to help out, and that's his role.
Yeah, otherwise he's living in a tent on a rooftop that eventually got blown away. Feel bad for him on that part, but
kind of expected him to also get employed by Sakamoto, but then again, it's a small store. I feel like 2 clerks are already pushing it.
Yeah, how are you going to account for that much overhead in current economy?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, he's very popular, right? Like, everyone in the town loves him, so I would imagine he does make a good living. If it's frequent enough and not one of his customers isn't by accident getting killed by an assassin. Yeah, we got Lou, we got Heisuke, and, some other characters, like, from Sakamoto's old life, like... Sakamoto apparently was part of this elite task force called the Order in the Association of Assassins in the JAA, and these characters also appear on occasion. We haven't met all of them yet because apparently there are 8 members, right? And we've only met 4 so far, and saw some of them fight. Not all of them yet. I mean. Technically, all of them in the OP, which is very cool. It's a good jam. I also like that we got a special ED just for them in one episode.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, that's they're fun. Like they're of the same ilk of Sakamoto, very powerful assassins. But they're also everyone have kind of their specialized weapon. One uses a hammer. One uses like knives. Another character who's like this goth Lolita character, she uses a handy chainsaw, I guess. not a chainsaw. What is it? It's like a
buzzsaw.
Buzzsaw, yeah. It's a buzzsaw.
As you do, carry one around, no big deal.
Yes, and they're allowed to kill people. So if you due to Sakamoto's code, were worried that there are not enough dead guys in this show, don't worry. There are enough dead people, enough people getting killed left and right, both by the bad guys and the semi-good guys who are still killers. So there's that. Something
good guy with a gun.
I think my favorite from the Order so far has been Nagumo, because he's such a bullshitter. Like, he's fucking with everyone all the time, and in a really good way that it's not really obvious. Like, he's so good at that, and that made me laugh every time he did that. This is he's a really fun character.
Osaragi is fun because she's comes across as very cold and unfeeling, but then when something catches her attention, it's like,
yeah,
it's just a very sudden turn.
Yes, she's very feels like very I don't know, passive in a way and monosyllabic, but and always has like this low key tone to it, and then suddenly, like I said, she's like very enamored with certain things.
it's not like an overplayed reaction. It's just like a very sort of thing.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. And we'll meet more. Like there's one other character who has like uses, I don't even know what he uses. This is like knuckle dusters.
Yeah, knuckle duster, brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles, yeah. But we have only hear him talk yet. We haven't seen him fight yet, aside from the OP. And apparently there are 4 more people. And one guy we haven't met at all who was heavily featured in the OP, which I assume we will see in the second core. Might be Sakamoto's trainer, like a mentor. I would assume, considering he's apparently a very old guy with a sword. I feel like he's probably the head of the order or whatever, and maybe was also Sakamoto's mentor. We'll see. We'll find out eventually. But
eventually, I mean, as of this recording, the show starts back up again in like 2 weeks.
Yes, that's also like that's a very rare thing. Usually, when we have shows that are so close, like only have like a 1-season break, we wait until the second core is aired because that makes more sense. But in this case, it was like, this is we need more shared reviews, so it makes sense to already review this. And but yeah, technically, once
it's just a fun show to talk about and watch. So
exactly, yeah, and technically, when you're done with listening to this, if you haven't already watched the first season and don't want to still do that, but also even if you haven't, like you can probably, considering editing time and everything, when this will be released, you might be able to just jump into the second core and continue from there on. But yeah, so like I said, most of the stuff is pretty basic. Like we get all these assassins, and then we hear that there's like this, aside from the main drive being a bounty put on Sakamoto's head by someone, we also hear about some kind of person or organization going around and killing assassins from the JAA left and right. And the Order is trying to find out who that is. It's this person called Slur. Just marks everything. My suspicion is that the real identity of Slur is Elon Musk, because that dude is obsessed with the letter X.
Don't say no.
Puts it every fucking where, like on people, like on walls. Everywhere. We'll see. We'll find out.
I hate that. I hate this.
But yeah, he apparently has some connection to Sakamoto, and we find out later, is also putting is the one who put the bounty on Sakamoto's head, apparently, for some reason. We don't know what his beef with Sakamoto is yet. Maybe because he's the only one. Sakamoto's the only one who he couldn't like beat or whatever, who was always better than him, something like that. But also maybe there's a more interesting motivation. We'll find out. We haven't found out yet. We have barely met Slur yet. But when we did, that was an introduction and was very scary. But he seems to be a tough enemy to beat, but I think it will be a while until we get there. But that seems to be the main drive. I don't know how long that particular arc will last. Like if he's gonna stay the main bad guy for the entire series. I feel like they're already making big moves towards him already being revealed in this core and everything, and I feel like they're already moving in the direction of facing him at some point, maybe even at the end of the next core, but we'll see. Maybe he's only there for one arc, maybe he's the big overarching bad guy for the rest of the season. Considering the manga is still going, I don't know how long they can stretch that out.
Yeah, I wonder about that.
Yeah, we'll see. But the bounty kicks things into gears and is the main drive of the show, and the hunt for Slur. And those paths at some point collide and become one path, I guess, because it's the same person who put the bounty on Sakamoto is also the person that the Order is hunting and whatever. And they're going to try to find out who that character is. And so far, Sakamoto, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, has Shin told him about him? Like, I feel like if he described Slur to Sakamoto, that would maybe ring a bell for him, and he would talk about it. But it feels like that hasn't happened yet. Like we didn't have the talk with you. Listen, there's this one guy, and apparently he's out for you or whatever. Or I don't even see, right. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Whenever that gets revealed and those two characters face each other. But already at the end of this core, we get like new 4 scary psychopaths, hitmen, all with different killing specialities. And immediately from the character designs, it's evident who does what. So that's gonna be next, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of like killing and everything, and fights and stuff, what did you think about the fights and the animation quality in the show in general? Like, were you this looks really good? Were like, oh, this is alright, or where did you come down? What side of the fence?
I mean, I feel like TMS just kind of threw themselves whole hog at this because I can't remember a moment where I was like, yeah, no, that doesn't look like particularly good. I was just like, dang, pretty much most of the way through, like, holy.
I feel like it's not an absolute Sakuga fest, like something you would associate with a really good show from, I don't know, Mappa or maybe Bones or Madhouse or something like that, or a Studio Wit, for example, right?
Yeah, but
it's not
TMS is sort of a different type of quality product.
Yes, it feels like they're like a very workman-like studio when it comes to what they put out and everything, but always on a pretty, at least the shows we covered, on a pretty high quality level, like a very high baseline. Doesn't divert from that too much. You neither have shows that episodes that go completely overboard and look absolutely amazing when compared to other episodes, but you also don't have like complete clusterfucks where it's like, what happened here, right? Did the C team work on that? So they got a very strong baseline, and I feel Sakamoto is definitely one of their best stuff animation quality wise we've seen so far.
Yeah, it was strong and it was consistent throughout.
Yes, very consistent.
And, like when we were talking about Yubel Blatt last time, consistency is best to me. Like, if you can't deliver on like your Sakuga Fest from top to bottom, then, you know, do the best you can and make it look consistent throughout.
Yes.
And this show does that. You know, it looks pretty good, but, you know, that's fine. It doesn't need to be... Every show doesn't need to be $1 billion yen budget per episode. That's unsustainable. And we've talked about this and blah, 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 blah. But, you know, just make it look as good as you can and hold that level of quality.
Yeah. And I was surprised, like when I learned that TMS is doing it, it's like, okay, this is first I thought this is weird because this feels like the new big Shonen Jump thing, and so I would expect them to stick one of their, you know, one of the bigger action show studios on this right now. And then I was like, no, I guess a lot of this also takes place in a more like low-key environment, like maybe it's more comedy heavy, and it's mostly gonna be like a joke series, and there is no need for elaborate animation. So I was actually surprised when there's so much more fighting in this than I expected. It's a very action-heavy show. I did not expect that. I expected the fights like to be sprinkled in between, and Sakamoto taking them out like in a couple of seconds, right? And he does that too with certain assassins, but some of the fights last long, and we have multiple fronts where Shin is fighting one enemy, Sakamoto's fighting one enemy, Lou is fighting one enemy, you know, then Heisuke maybe joins the fight and helps out, or someone from the Order. So multi-layered fights, and, you know, always different set pieces. It's not like what I expected it all to take place in the store, especially considering that the store also has like this fucking weapons store hidden inside of it, right? Matrix shit. And
I was about to say, yes, I need a weapon.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, hey, it's gonna be that. Like, there's always, you're always gonna discover something new about this store where Sakamoto has hidden a different weapon or something like that, or he's gonna make use of a new thing that he sells in the store to beat the assassins that are coming, and that would have also been fun in its own right, and I would have expected, oh yeah, that makes sense to have TMS do this, but no, it's definitely like it's changing a lot. Of the scenery is changing a lot, the set pieces change a lot. The fights are very different and varied in terms of what they do in the fights. I mean, of course, you get your standard kick and punching and so on, but due to Shin being able to read minds, they employed that heavily, but in very different ways. Like there's like a fight where Shin can see, and Sakamoto's basically remote piloting him by telling him what he needs to do through. Like, they have very good latency. They have very good netcode.
Rollback ain't got nothing on them.
Nothing on them. There's no delay whatsoever. It's amazing.
That scene was so cool, though.
Yes, it was very cool and fun. I expected Sakamoto to be the one who would end up in the bunny suit, right? But it was fun. It was Shin, and then we had like this... them viewing that as like this performance piece and everything. It was really cool. Like I like that a lot. And they do more stuff with Shin's mind reading and what he can do and what he can't do, and how that can be disabled in a way, and how it is really helpful and when it isn't. It's a bit wonky in parts because at some point Shin says he has to concentrate to actually read minds, but then there's also, when they go into his background, it feels like he can always passively read minds anyway, or hear people's minds all the time. I guess it's more like if he can always hear the minds of the people around him and what the thoughts and what of the people around him. But if he wants to listen to a specific person, he has to concentrate. I think that's how it works. Like, it's white noise probably, and he like can grab pieces of certain thoughts passively and hears them. Like if you're standing in a crowd, right, and there's chatter around you, you pick up certain pieces of conversations, and I think that's the way his mind reading works when he's not actively concentrating. But in fights and so on, he needs to concentrate if he wants to actually employ his powers. So, that comes with its downsides, and he needs to account for that and accommodate that in certain ways. So that's interesting. So he's not like this super overpowered character because he can read minds, because there are some weak points. There's some downsides to these powers. So that's cool.
I like that that helps equalize him a bit.
Yes, yeah. I mean, otherwise Sakamoto would be the only one. Also, maybe like. But I was surprised. I was worried that Shin would only be like, okay, he now becomes the dude on the side of Sakamoto who helps out but isn't really finishing any fight. But no, he's like a very integral part in some of the fights, and actually the one who beats the assassins, because Sakamoto is busy otherwise, or has maybe another problem that he needs to solve or whatever, and Shin is on his own. And I guess the same could be said about Lu, although she is not as good of a fighter as Shin is. Like, she's a good fighter, especially when she gets drunk, but she's not the powerhouse that Shin and Sakamoto are. So, but She's fun regardless and does her part, and same for Heisuke, even though he can only be a good sniper, but that is worth a lot depending on the situation. So that's neat, and that keeps the fights varied, right? That's fun. And like I said, there's this fight on, one of my favorites was the fight on the roller coaster against the poison guy. I forgot his name. Was really cool. Just the way Shin uses his power, and the different stages, and where that ends up, which is the remote piloted stuff, like we said. Like, that was a really cool, well structured, varied fight. I like that a lot. And if you have an interestingly staged fight like that, you don't need like the best animation in the business to keep you entertained and to be like, wow, 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 wow. So that worked very well, and the show has a lot of that stuff. So I have nothing to complain really about the action scenes. There's some cool camera pans in there as well. Some cool. I don't think if there's a really good tracking shot in there, but there's definitely some good editing and some good camera pans in this show that I also didn't expect. So yes. Action-wise, this is definitely, and especially considering that I didn't expect this show to have this much action in it. Like, it's just in pretty much almost every episode. Like, the last two are more of a goof thing that is not really action-focused. And which, if this was like the end of a proper season, that would be a bit weird to end it there. But, it's just took a break and it's going to continue from there. So
I love that in the second to last episode, Sakamoto is wearing a shirt that just says tired. And I'm just like, boy.
I need to buy that shirt and wear it to
boy,
work
what
every
a
day.
mood.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think they're going to have plenty of material for adaptation moving forward, because looking at manga chapters, it looks like they got to about chapter 35, 36, and there are currently 218.
Woof. Okay. Well, and I think TMS is also one of the studios that is not as overbooked, right? In terms of projects, that we might actually get very frequent releases of this show. Like, I can see them doing, like, we have now 1 season break, then maybe a 2 season break, then maybe a 1 season break again, stuff like that. They're like I said, TMS are workhorses. So I can imagine us getting a steady stream of Sakamoto seasons in the coming years. Would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had some like Lupin special recently. They had.
Yeah, there was a TV special with Zenigata as the main character, I think.
God, I forgot Rent-A-Girlfriend season 4.
Did you forget?
I will cross that bridge when I come to it. And yes, I did forget. For a brief moment, I was happy.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be for another quick hit at that, which we didn't have today. But yeah, keep that in mind. I mean, there's always season 5 around the corner.
I think it's supposed to be a 2-course season.
Ah, well, there you go. So,
I mean, interesting that Wikipedia listed as 12 episodes, but split course. Just call it the number of season it is, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who decides that. Like, I think it's maybe, I don't even know if that's something we try to put onto a season, and in Japan it's just a different, I don't know, a different term in general. But also sometimes in the Japanese promo art for the show, you then see season 1, season 2. I don't know what they do when it's just part 1, part 2, or whatever, or a core, if they even show that, or if it's just TV 1, TV 2. I don't know.
I forget exactly how they delineate it, but yeah, I just like, okay, you could call it what it is, and I would appreciate that, but okay.
I checked next season. We definitely have they
also have Dr. Stone coming up as well, so
yes, and that's right, Dr. Stone. That's also one of those shows where it's like, yeah, very good baseline, nothing super out of the ordinary. It's like, oh my god, this is absolutely stellar animation, but very good stuff, very well directed, great production values in terms of music, in terms of artwork, in terms of direction and everything. So yeah, they delivering good stuff. And I mean, for me, they will always be associated with one of my favorite Western cartoons, or multiple of them, with Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series and stuff like that. They worked on that.
I forgot they had a large hand in those. Man, those shows were so good.
Yeah, I'm just going through them right now. I went through Batman, I went through Superman, went through Batman Beyond, and they also directed pretty much everything of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, and that's an incredible looking movie.
I have always heard that. I have not watched it to this day, though.
Have you watched the show, though? Like Batman Beyond the show?
Not all of it, but a decent chunk of it when it was originally on TV.
I recommend you watch that movie. I mean, if you're familiar with Terry McKenna's Batman Beyond as a character, You can watch that movie either way, regardless. It's a very dark movie, though, especially like...
That's what I hear.
Yes. And previously, you had to make sure that you get the uncut version if you want to have good movie experience. But I think the cut version is not even available anymore, like on Blu-ray and whatever. So, but yeah, depending on how you might come across this, make sure that it's the uncut version, because that's very important. Otherwise, you're not getting the full experience. But yeah, that's great. And now I'm on Justice League.
I'll try and look it up
League. Yeah. Now I'm on Justice League, and the TMS didn't work on that anymore, as far as I know. But yeah, they also worked on... I think they worked on Galaxy Rangers and definitely some other Western cartoon stuff. I don't know if they worked on Thundercats. I don't think so, but definitely on the Batman, Superman, on the DCAU stuff, and on Galaxy Rangers. Yeah. I don't know, but people from my age might be familiar with that shit. That was my jam. Just like, you know.
Yeah, that one I don't think
I'll show you the intro. You might have seen that, because it's got a very cool soundtrack and everything. It's your typical Western in space thing. And yeah, so next to Saber Rider and I guess stuff like Firefly and Outlaw Star, and it's
that one I know.
Yeah, so it's along those lines, and a lot of the Western cartoons from those days just had at least their OPs animated in Japan, and TMS animated the shit out of the OP to Galaxy Rangers, and they also did some episodes. So at least some of them, if not all of them, I'm not sure. But yeah, so tangent.
We do those sometimes.
Yeah, we do those sometimes. So getting back to Sakamoto, there is not much more to say about this. Like, it's just a very fun show. It's highly entertaining. It's very funny. A lot of good jokes in there. A lot of good fights in there. Even a fight in a house of horror, which I don't know if that was super responsible to take such a small young child like Hana into a fucking spooky house. I don't know. Is that normal? I'm not a father. I don't intend to be, and I don't know if that is a good idea.
I mean, I guess if you're a cool parent, I don't know.
Yes,
I have no idea.
I feel like Hana was barely like she's barely elementary school age, if all. I feel like she feels like a preschooler, and to bring her in the house with zombies and everything, it's scary. I don't know. I feel like that would have been too intense for her. But she had fun, apparently. She was like, oh, that's so scary. Ha, 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 ha.
You know, some kids,
gravitate towards this stuff. Yes, so was I.
Process things differently, and then it comes back as trauma later. I don't know.
Well, or, or not. Or people get obsessed with it, right? Like...
Yeah.
My parents tried to keep me away from horror for a while. At least my dad did, and I was super curious about it. And it turns out I really like that shit. So eventually, I just gravitated to that naturally. Like aside from watching Terminator 2 way too early, Alien way too early, and that shit just worked for me. And he could try. He didn't allow me to watch Jurassic Park when it hit theaters, even though I was already 12. And
that movie's fine.
But it still has kills, right? It has a severed arm.
Yes.
Yes, but yeah, my dad was very he was very much against violence in movies and TVs and games. So my mom was more open.
Then your father was probably good about that, then, to be honest.
Yeah, but my mom was more lax about that. She and my stepdad were like, he's 11. Should he watch Alien? If he gets nightmares, we know it was the wrong decision. And I didn't. So I guess they worked it out, and it was fine. And I'm still a big horror buff these days, and I like my shit. Not all of it. There's some parts of that genre that I don't like, but I like the cool creature shit. And I've always gravitated to that. And, like Terminator, like Alien, like stuff like that. So, that works. Another tangent. Anyway, I feel like House of Horror, when I thought, what, they're taking her in there, I was a bit surprised, but she apparently liked it. So, that was fun. And aside from that, it will be very interesting to see what the next /season, whatever, brings in regards to the identity of Slur, right? That is the big, like, looming mystery and thing that, we now know what the stakes are. It's the bounty on Sakamoto's head. We know who put the bounty on his head. We know that he's already contracted several more killers, psychopaths who are gonna hit the scene in the next core. And yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna be the main drive of the show, to find out what Slur's deal is, I feel like, and how that relates to Sakamoto's past life and everything, and how much his family will be involved. Like, Aoi and Hana have not been in direct danger really yet. Like, they haven't been taken hostage or anything. Like, I guess in the amusement park section with Boiled and everything, but also not really harrowing or something like that yet. It's not in a really disturbing way or stuff like that. So I wonder if that will happen, because I don't think Slur cares much about them being like collateral damage. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But I feel like the tone of the show right now, even though maybe the mangaka did some darker stuff before, is very light. It's very goofy. It's very fun. Even though there is assassin involved and a lot of people are getting killed left and right, it's a very, very like light and fun show and jokey show. And I think it's gonna stay that. Like, if you're looking for something a serious John Wick anime, something like that, you're not gonna get this out of this, but you're gonna get plenty of fun. Like, it's a very, very easily digestible show. So yeah, I don't know who not to recommend this to. Like, if you're like a super edgelord who's like, I want all my action stuff dark and heavy, and I want it all to be like super serious, yeah, then this shit is not for you. But also, why do you hate fun? Why do you hate your life? So I feel
have a little fun.
Have a little fun. Good times. And yeah, so yeah, watch this show quickly if you haven't yet, because the next core is right around the corner. Like we said, it's only like at the time of from the time of this recording, it's gonna be the first episode of the next core is gonna air in 15 days. So or 16.
Get on it.
And yeah, since we basically breezed through the entire season and spoiled the shit out of it for you, not everything, but most of it, you can also decide, just gonna jump into core 2, and that's probably gonna be fine, because I feel like this show is not that story heavy that you're missing anything if the summary is enough for you. But also, you would be missing a lot of cool fights, a lot of funny jokes. So watch the first core 2. Like we did. And yeah, we're definitely going to check out the next one, that's for sure. And I'm glad to hear there's so much manga material left. So I hope I'm going to be able to live on a steady diet of Sakamoto Days for the coming anime season. We'll see. But it's not like we don't have enough other stuff to watch.
There's other neat stuff in a couple neat stuff in the summer season. Not a whole lot, but there's some neat stuff in there. So it will be supplemented with other fun things.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, if you want to watch Sakamoto Days, it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix show, and we'll see what the next season brings.
But they're doing it weekly releases like they should.
Yes,
thank you.
Let's hope they're gonna keep that going, not switch it around for one of the courses. Like, no, we're gonna go back to the season to the batch releases. We'll see. But yeah, fun show, super entertaining, lighthearted, good stuff, goofy, wacky, and generally good time. Before we get to the next season, actually, there is one more thing for this season we have to do. Best of the season. All right, best of the season. John, You watched 3 shows. I watched 4 shows, slightly different shows.
But we had some overlap.
We had some overlap in the form of Dragon Ball Daima and Sakamoto Days, definitely. If I could have gotten myself to do it, maybe also Uberblood, but that didn't pan out. So, but that's fine too. So, what do you feel? What is your favorite this season? What is the thing that was like, okay, this hit home the most for me from the shows I watched?
It's like trying to pick my favorite child. maybe not, but Uberblood was fun. I mean, it was definitely hearkening back to an older age of anime and it's definitely its inspirations, but I don't know if it's ever going to get a second season with Satellite's track record nowadays, which is unfortunate, but would like to see more of it. Would like to see more of Sakugan. Would like to see the conclusion to Helk. But since they have 3 open books and the bookmarks are where they are, I don't know. So I liked it for what it was, in spite of its shortcomings. But Sakamoto Days is fun. Well animated, got a great cast of characters. Is pretty goofy. It's just fun to sit with all the stuff we just talked about less than 5 minutes ago. And it's coming back in 2 weeks, so I feel like there's space for this to have its chance again. Because if they keep going with the adaptation, it could keep going for a while if the story is kept fresh. So I think this is a very strong second place.
Absolutely.
So that leaves Dragon Ball Daima, and it was great. It was a great return to form, kind of pushing aside what Super tried to do. And, Super is good, but it's not what this was. It wasn't the adventure. It wasn't the whimsy. It wasn't, the silly, goofy stuff from the original Dragon Ball that they sort of kind of gradually got away from.
Super was just more Dragon Ball Z, technically.
Yeah, pretty much. So, there's a comment flashing right now on Kitsu that says we got a true Dragon Ball, a canon Dragon Ball GT before GTA 6, which, yeah. And, there's also the thing to talk about is the last thing that Toriyama touched. So,
yeah, sadly. But it was a good goodbye present. So
it was great. It was fun. It was nostalgic. So I feel like it was probably my pick for this season.
Very good. Very good pick. Definitely up there for me as well. I had a lot of fun with Dragon Ball Daima. Nice low-key adventure. Like, I haven't watched the original Dragon Ball like in the last 2 years, I think. But I was always in one way. I was always more fond of that than Z. Don't get me wrong. I like Z. But that wasn't my introduction to Dragon Ball. Like, for a lot of people, Dragon Ball Z was their Dragon Ball because that was how they started the show. A lot of them haven't even watched the original show. But for me, I read the manga by way of a friend who was collecting them. I read the manga and started thus with the original Dragon Ball story, and then watched the anime adaptation of that after the fact. And only then I watched Z. I caught clips of Z before. We talked about this when we talked about Super, maybe about Daima, I'm not sure. On French TV when I was on vacation there and stuff. It immediately caught my eye because it was so special in terms of design and everything. Nothing like anything I had ever seen before. But I didn't watch that show. I only watched it, after I watched the original Dragon Ball. So nostalgia-wise, my feelings will always be more connected to that version of Dragon Ball. So I was so happy that Daima successfully, it's a key difference to GT, went back to that tone. It not entirely, like it's the original Dragon Ball was still different in certain parts. It was more, even more jokey than this is in certain. And of course, the cast has advanced and so on. That old show built all of that stuff up, and now and in Daima that is already established. But just in general, what it was trying to do, it was really, it was a lot closer to the original show than anything we had gotten in recent years or decades. And so I really enjoyed it. I was really happy with it. I liked it a lot. I wouldn't mind to have another throwback like that again, though I doubt they will do that. That feels like it was this one-time thing that maybe Toriyama just wanted to do. Is like, let's try to do what GT was trying to do, but it wasn't successful in doing. Let's have this fun adventure plot. And I feel like now that he's gone, the only thing we're going to get from now on is probably more super, properly manga adaptation stuff, if we get anything more like that. Which, hey, I don't mind that. I loved Super, at least the later parts of it. I loved the Tournament of Power. I thought that was fucking fun. And I loved the movies. I love the Broly movie and everything. That's just, the action in that is insanely entertaining. I love the movie Superhero. Was really good too. So yeah, I'd love to see more of that, but I really also liked Daima.
I still want a remake of Dragon Ball. Introduce the youngers, the people who skipped it.
Yes.
Just reintroduce it. Do that.
Yes.
There's a space to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you only do a Kai version, but also I would like to see a proper remake with the Toei's current production values. Like, just do it. And they're doing that for One Piece, and we'll see how that will pan out. Which, so CS that is still running, which is ridiculous. But, why not also do it for the probably biggest Shonen Jump property after One Piece as well. Original Dragon Ball definitely would deserve it, and like I said, they might do that after most of the original cast is gone, because then they feel like they can do that without disrespecting them if they don't, employ them for that. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe that will happen. Maybe not. Maybe in our lifetime, maybe not, but it would be cool. But yes, Daima, a lot of fun. Definitely up there for me, probably third or second place, probably second. I enjoyed Senju a lot. The unexpected isekai. I expected a war comedy. I got an isekai story, but it was a special one because, throwing an animator into a world stemming from their favorite animated movie was definitely a nice shake-up of that formula. And I feel like there were definitely some interesting pieces and nice homages and references to other animated stuff. And while the story was still kind of basic when compared to some of the other stuff we watched that was tackling the topic of animation or that I watched in the form of Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken, or that we watched in the form of Recreators, who did a bit more interesting stuff in different ways with, animation as a topic for the actual show. I feel like this was, a breeze to watch and very entertaining. And I had a lot of fun with that, definitely more than I expected. And the production values for that were out of this world. Just Mappa going all in. It was fucking ridiculous. So, good times. Sakamoto Days, we just talked about it. Good, wacky fun, very light on the plot so far, but very funny with plenty cool fights and colorful characters. Like, I was entertained from beginning to end. I was never bored, and I was laughing a lot. And yeah, there was some really cool stuff in there as well. And yeah, and definitely looking forward to the next season. Also, definitely strong contender. Like, all of these are very strong contenders for best of the season. If this season didn't have a little show that called Medalist, which that show just grabbed me by the heart and didn't let go. It's the perfect blend of underdog sports drama, comedy, and heartwarming coming-of-age story. You also get two fantastic, infinitely likable protagonists for the price of one show. I love Inori, I love Tsukasa, and together they brought me so much joy in so few episodes. It's just an all-around great package. So far, the only real downside I can even really think of is that I didn't get to spend more time with them. But Season 2 has been confirmed already. I hope this will be remedied soon. No date announced yet, but it's coming apparently. So I'm very happy to hear that, because the manga for that is also still running, and would like to see a lot more of that. And yeah, if you like sports anime or just good anime comfort food that lifts your spirits, this is the show for you. And I'm so happy that I actually checked that out, because it's just good stuff, man. And it's pulling at your heartstrings, Stefan. It's giving you the feelings that you want and need, and I'm so looking forward to more of that in the next season. Yeah. Good shit, Medalist, absolutely, no doubt my best anime of the season. And with that, we have come to the end of another season here on Anime Brain Freeze. We will be back shortly, because, like we already said, the summer premieres are already dropping as we speak. Definitely already one show I want to check out for the sneak peek, and we will talk about plenty of them next time in that segment. So stay hydrated and treat yourself to some ice cream, which I plan to do after this recording. Talk to you soon. Adios, folks.
Take care, everybody.
And that is a wrap on the 167th episode of Anime Brain Freeze. All the music in our podcast is from the Double Dragon Neon soundtrack by the amazing Jake Kaufman. Please go to virt.bandcamp.com and check out his awesome work. Find us where all the podcasts live, but also check out animebrainfreeze.com for a review index and more. Please leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice if you can. Follow us on the socials or send an email to animebrainfreeze@gmail.com. We would love to read your feedback. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you had a good time, and please join us again on our next episode. Macht's gut.
So long, everyone. Next time on Anime Brain Freeze.
Stuff that only happens in fiction.
Conspiracies, cover-ups, and pandemics.